I'm next though, get your vest on, let's go. Poppy gonna let those sets know, but it's the same Old Testament Genesis that we blow the cartridges. Sega, Nintendo, these are the Beast Wars. Niggas just Petco. I'm a crocodile plus the wasabi when death roll ready, get set, go.
I'm the guy who does his job.
Because you and Stash have had a great relationship, but it's always been based around music.
Yeah.
I wanted to get y'all together on this platform because the way y'all speak about each other when y'all not around each other is the wildest shit in the world to
Listen,
be like.
Listen.
It's my guy,
man. When I ain't see him no more, like, what's up with Jack? You talk to Jack?
Yeah.
He doing this,
like,
he doing that. All right.
Yeah, man. Like,
no, I've never. You know what it was? It was. I had never had somebody's family member, you know, because you brought me and you brought my blood brother, you brought Drake in.
Yeah.
So, right.
Shout out to Poppy. That nigga always
going
somewhere.
Yeah, feel me?
Yeah, that nigga was here and now he out Delaware.
I was about to say, is he even in Philly? When he posted the other day, he didn't look like he was in Philly no more.
Nah, he in Delaware. He's been in Delaware since last week. He stayed with us for a week. Because it was our brother's memorial. Our brother that just passed. It was his birthday.
Okay.
So everybody wanted to get, you know what I mean, together and kind of pour one up for him.
Yeah.
And so he just been home, got some vacation time. So he came home and decided he was gonna stay for a while.
Okay.
And, you know, he do stuff like that.
Yeah, he good.
But back to us, I had never had somebody's family member just like sort of. It was never any tension. It was like my brother say, "You cool, come on." We out, and that just incentivized me. You know me, Rick. I love everybody. Like, you know, if you love me, I love you.
Yeah. No, and you know what's crazy because Stash can vouch for this. Y'all were the first two that I bought around. That's how much. That's how strongly I felt about y'all. Like, I'm very.
Hold up, not to cut you off. Hold up, bro. Not that you brought him around, but pause. We all was that hungry in one bedroom. Making some music.
Shout out to my grandma. That was my grandma's bedroom, and that was like the. Oh, get this cuteness out of here. Who's that, Riley?
Yeah, you already know she got to slide in for at least one or two of them.
If you don't tell her to come back in here.
She got a homie over here, so you know she's going up and popping bottles and all of that.
Yeah, they don't got no time for you. Like, you don't understand that. You don't understand that yet, Ree. Because
No, yes I do. Because she already liked that.
She already like that?
She already like that. Hey!
I was mowing grass. I'm sorry. I look a hot mess.
No, you good. No, you good. You good.
What you drinking?
We just talking family stuff, so you're more than welcome to be on the camera.
Tell me what y'all was talking about, because I might say something. Y'all don't want me to say that. I'm joking. That's me.
Hey, sweetie.
She's cute. What is
this? My kisses.
There's dustpans in the laundry room.
And
so now,
by the way,
thank you, Uncle Wap.
You're welcome,
that brings me into the husband talk.
My car paperwork is sitting on the
floor. What you need to know, bro?
Okay, well, yeah, because we all married. Yeah.
We're all married, and I see.
Time champ.
No, man, you my role model with that one. I'm trying to get there.
Yeah, man. We got 5 in, man, and it.
Is that 5?
Yeah.
So, big bro, how many you said you got?
15 married, but yeah, but all together it was like what 28.
God.
You know what I mean?
Hey. Sheesh, that's a long time to love somebody, man. Congratulations.
Listen, man, when it's genuine, you don't even, you know what I mean? It just comes genuinely, man. Like,
but I will say this too, because I've also been married for 15. Me and my wife been together for 16, been married for 15. Right? This right here, this ain't no walk in the park every day.
No, it is not.
No.
Right? And like I tell people all the time, right?
Good job.
Hey.
Good job, Uncle Shizz.
Hey, if I can get the okay from you, that means I must be doing something right.
Right.
Yo, I tell people all the time, like from where we came to where we are now, yo, it was so much. Not saying that it was everything was just bad in between.
No,
we definitely somebody could walk into the crib and see us interacting and all that and be like, yo, y'all two are the truth. Y'all love each other, blah, 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 all that good stuff, right? Not knowing at the year 10 mark or the year 8 and 9 mark, you know what I'm saying, when Cats was ready to, you know what I'm saying, all because of me. I'll put that
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? But we, like, this thing was, what they said, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but I wouldn't trade any of it for the world. The person I'm with, that's like my person. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like an animal. You know, animals like pets have their owners. That's my person, and I ain't got no problem with saying that to nobody.
No.
No.
And I love that you said it that way. I love that you said it that way. I love that you compared it to an animal having an owner, because that's how we feel sometimes. Like you just like,
tell the truth. We are animals.
Huh?
Did you see how we live when we're by ourselves?
Let me get there, bro. Let me
get there. My bad.
I be trying to have some etiquette to my points.
No, we're disgusting. It's not having etiquette. If we men, it's not having etiquette. This is trifling. It's trifling.
Well, this man tries to have some etiquette. So
no, it's no. What I'm saying, there's no etiquette about men.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
We're savages.
I love that you said it that way, because a better way to say it is sometimes 98% of the time you feel like a lost dog, and you're just trying to find your way. You're trying to find your way home, and don't even know where home is until you meet that one. And when you meet that one, it might not be instantaneous right away, but the chemistry is there. It's like, even if you try to fight it. Like I remember when Stash met my sister-in-law. I think I knew she was the one before he did. As soon as she walked in, I was like, yo, she different. I said that at like 11. Like however old I was when you met her, it was like, yo, she different. It, like her aura was different. You know what I mean? Jack, me and you talk. And I didn't say this when we reshot the footage, but with Stash here, he could tell you.
Give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
Zig, what charger do you use for this?
All right, you can give me a big.
The computer, boy.
You know what though? The only thing I hate, and the only thing I hate about like today's era, right? Because I'm not a big social media dude. I can take time off from social media. I won't post nothing, but like you'll see like business stuff, music, you know what I'm saying? Be connection.
That's
whatever.
how I am now.
Yeah.
That's how I am now.
So people will be like, oh well, you're not posting, you and wifey, or you know what I'm saying? Where like because they're not seeing all of this stuff, they automatically assume that, you know what I'm saying, it's like it's something ain't something. The boat is rocking, or he must be
you know what they say about that, like he don't share it, he must don't love her, or they not
right.
going through something. Yeah, that's the people though. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to see something. Either they want to see something because they need something to talk about.
Right.
So now that Jack is back, let me get back to my original point. Like you feel like a lost dog trying to find your way home.
Right.
And the woman that you find, that's the one, makes you feel at home even when you didn't even realize you were looking for a home. If that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? Like Stash could tell you because Stash is my older brother. My family didn't think that I would marry a black woman because I was.
You had some snow bunnies.
No, and this is just me being honest. Like Jack, me and you talked about this.
Yeah, we talked. Yeah.
I just so happened to be in long-term relationships with white girls. Like it wasn't like I was looking for it. It was just
you just love who you like who you like. You know
exactly.
But see, at the time you were exploring in your life because you was in college.
Yeah, so, you know what I mean.
So that kind of plays its part. Like,
I'm glad you said that.
Definitely had the snow bunnies.
You met one.
Yeah,
you met
you
one.
definitely had the snow bunnies.
The plot twist is you didn't see the black girl that I was with prior to her coming on the campus. Because I usually keep my
she ain't make it past recess.
1,000%.
And then I married, and then I ended up marrying one, and that did not work out.
Right, but you know, those things typically don't work out for whatever reason. Mine didn't work out because, you know, like as you grow, especially specifically as a black man, you start understanding things that you don't understand at 18, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
Like, had I known then what I know now, not to say I wouldn't have dated these people, but I probably wouldn't have dated them as long because the warning signs were there. The disconnect. There was a disconnect that I was ignoring because I was young. And it's not... It's tricky because I don't even want to.
I mean, but ain't that how it's supposed to be though?
Right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So back to my queen. When I meet her, again, I'm not even looking for a relationship. It's kind of. It was weird. It was weird how we met. Like, shout out to my man Brosco. My man Brosco ended up sending a tweet out about some girl who was kind of dope but lost all her followers. So I ended up following her just to kind of see what she hitting for. We end up talking about 24 and a bunch of other stuff, and we end up connecting. And now 11 years later, we married. And you know what I mean? Like it's crazy how things work. Like,
I wasn't even looking for. I promise you, true story. Hand to God, yo. I was in Iraq at the time. I was a soldier for 14 years. I'm in Iraq.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. I appreciate
you for the support. I tell that to everybody. But I was in Iraq at the time, and I'm telling my first line supervisor, I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to get married, like ever. Like, I'm not trying to fall in love. I'm trying to be a thought for the rest of my life. Like,
right.
I'm keeping it all 100, yo. I'm talking fresh out of Philly. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a different part of the world. First, because at first I went to Georgia, then we ended up going to Iraq, right? So I'm being experienced and opened up to all of this new stuff, right? So I'm like, get locked down for what? Like, hell no. And then a month later, I'm on the phone, like, yeah, man, I love you. Like, oh, okay. You come to Philly? Okay, yeah, I'll make sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just happened that fast. It all happened online.
So let me go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
I met my wife online. Our situation, it was kind of crazy because she was in a relationship and I knew it.
I mean, it'd be like that sometimes.
And I had a
kind of crazy.
Right, and I had a big crush on her. And for some reason, I'm like, this dude, she don't seem like the type of girl that's trying to hide somebody. This dude ain't never around. So I said, well, let me see what's going on. But she was really being a good girl. And so she would never, and I would blow her up. I would never flirt with her, but I would just blow her up. So then finally, the way we started talking was, I blew her up one night and she slid into my DM to say thank you. And just
Mister, y'all was thinking about that.
And just to be thorough, I asked her, I was like, so you got somebody? And she told the truth. She was like, yeah. Right?
And you was like, so?
What's up?
No. I just fell back. I didn't fall back as
allegedly
talking to her.
Oh, okay.
But I just stayed there. You know what I mean? But I always made my intentions clear. I was like, dude is going, like, when dude go, and then come to find out he wasn't the greatest of dudes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, very bad. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even put smut on nobody, but very bad. You know what I mean? So we started talking, and it was funny getting to know somebody online.
Yeah, so it's a little weird, right?
Well, it was at first. It was at first, but it was cool because I end up in the act of love making rather quickly. You know what I mean? I normally do. And so I've had to like stop myself. So it was nice that I'm meeting her online. She live in New York. I live in Philly. So it's not too far to where we can't see each other, but it's far enough to where we can't be with each other every day, but we talking every day. And it was like getting to know somebody, even though you kind of send your representative, I felt like we were at a place where...
Did you say senior representative?
Like, yeah, you know, when you meet a person,
that makes sense.
You know, but for me, I was just so done. Because I was at a point where I was like, I'm not looking for love. But if it come, I was at that real zen point in my life. Like, I'm like, I was
avoiding that mug at all costs.
When we met, I was talking to 4 other young ladies. But I had shut the candy shop down. I was celibate.
Oh, pun intended or no?
Yeah, no pun intended, but that was good. I didn't even pick up on it. My wife's name is Candy. I had shut the shop down. I was like, look, you know, and so when I met her.
You shut the candy shop down. She came in your DMs and was like, "I'll take you to the candy."
Yo, that's the first thing I started thinking was. The first thing I started.
All right. There are 4 dads on this thing. All right, 5. Yeah, 5 dads. Let's not do this. Let's not do the dad jokes. Okay,
it's the weekend. It's the weekend, yo.
It's dad jokes.
I said.
Why would you would? Boy, I will fight you.
I'll take you to the candy.
Hey, just don't Chris Benoit the situation though.
That is so bad. No, right?
Relax.
Y'all got problems.
I got a lot of them, bro.
No, so it's crazy, like getting to know somebody's spirit as opposed to, you know, you got to really have patience.
Yeah.
You got to really have patience, especially if you're pursuing this woman.
Yeah.
And like, we always was following each other and we had a little crush, but I never thought it would ever be anything. And then just like that, in my life.
Yo, so wait, I'm gonna come back to that. Shit, sorry, I was about to say Shizz, Stash.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when you knew Rita was the one?
Oh, good question.
Good question.
Like
good
when
question.
you like when you knew, not when you like, oh maybe, but like it's like that moment.
Yeah, I pretty much knew. I remember.
You remember?
Yeah.
You want to share? Or you want to keep it private? You want to share? Or you want to keep it private?
It was pretty much when we the first time she hit me up. You know, she paged me. You know, I'm from the era. You know what I mean?
Not the page. He said he got the page. The 911
yeah,
joint.
It was like a whole week. And the first time we linked, and you know, back then, you know, if you had a will, that's it. You got a girl. She was hey, you get to take her anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a simple little drive, man. We went right down to Kelly Drive, and we just talked for hours. And that's something like I never sat with no female and just talked for hours, staring at the water, just talking for hours, just about life, just anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the more it's just like it was more intellectual than it was physical with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once I got that, it was like, okay, the conversation is good. Then we just started hanging out. And one thing led to another. And it was like every day, want to take a ride? She right beside me to where the homies was no more around. It's just me and her. So when that point when you know what I'm saying, and your homies like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna get with y'all later on. Like y'all go ahead. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, so when you start changing your route, when a person make you change your route, but it's for the good.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you go for. And then you look at what you've been dealing with in your past relationships, just either if you was starting or it's just like you said. Now, I mean, it just come a time you're like, you know what? Man, look, I'm tired of this. I need to settle down. Boom, boom, boom. And even after we got together, you know what I'm saying, it still had our ups and downs because I still wanted to be starting.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had other children with other women. Like this woman still stuck beside me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Through both times. Never left. It hurt her. And I had to deal with that. But it was like, you know what? This woman willing to ride. She ain't going nowhere. Like, let me really, really, really change now. And that's when you see me bow gracefully out the game. Like, I mean, that was it. Because it was like, look, if you got a person like that, you do one mistake and you turn around and you do the same thing. That's like when I was messing around in the streets and I got booked for messing around with the cars. I got on probation and I turned around my second year, getting ready to get off. I do the same thing with these fucking cars and then I go right back to the courts and still get off with a 5-year probation. That's a second chance right there. So certain things you just can't ignore. You know what I mean? So it was just a sign like, look, let me see what this do. And then next thing you know, we get in cribs together, we struggle together, we come up together. You don't get no better partner than that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't get no better partner.
That's definitely dope. Because I want to just echo two things that Big Bro just said. That's how, like, me and my wife, we took a drove. Like, I was military. So we literally drove from Jersey to Alaska. Now, for anybody that don't know, that's about a week's worth of driving. But us sitting next to each other, like, it's just me and her. Right. Yo, it ain't nothing but talking going on. Like, you ain't doing nothing but talking. Like, I'm talking about, like, you having to, like, we literally had like hour-long conversation about bottled water, yo. About
wait. You can definitely have a 1-hour conversation about water.
No, but I'm saying is, but that's where, like, you have so much conversational time into where, like Big Bro said, it ain't about the physical stuff. You know that's there. That's the whole reason why you hollered at her, because she was bad. So we already know she got that.
Exactly. Right.
Where's this at?
Where's your mental at?
Right. But then, like I said, you have the conversations, but then also to echo off the fact that he said when you struggle, because everybody always say everything is peachy when the bills is paid, the babies is good, it's liquor in the fridge, on the cabinets, and all of that stuff. Everything is all good when things are good. How is it going to be when things start to go bad a little bit? And like you start to fall a little bit. How is your attitude and your behavior going to change then? So Big Bro made two wonderful points, because I want to say that was part of the reason we still talk about it to this day. You know what I'm saying? So
right. And you know what's deep?
Talking about bottled water or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That was like one of the memories that always stick out for us.
Right.
And what's deep is that what you said, Shizz, about that drive. First of all, think about how you hear certain dudes be like, they kind of only want to talk. Like, what's up with men? And this is from our father's generation too, acting like they don't like their families. You ever peep that?
But you know, like I said before, the evolution is something that happens, but we don't see. So what you do is you take you because don't get me wrong, get me to talk. That was a bit of a struggle. It's definitely a struggle. But now, you know what I'm saying, she can't get me to stop talking. But it's like before you take what your old heads or whatever headed you down,
right?
Kind of, and again, just like music, we all know about. You know what I'm saying, we ain't gonna act like we was popping in KRS-One tapes. We first was listening to music, but we popped on what we popped on, like what we like, and then old head was like, "Yo, let me put you on to this Public Enemy." You know what I'm saying, let me put you on to this. So you still like what you like, but you your respect to what came before and found out where they got it from. All they did was evolve. Yeah,
that's how I got into Rakim, was because of Nas.
Right.
You know, he called himself the microphone fiend, and he wanted to make sure that he told people who he got that from. And I had a lot of 5%ers around me. Okay. Like my uncles and stuff, they was all like 5%ers. So I got that was the era, right? And I was thinking, because what I noticed about like us is that we like our wives. People ask me for advice, right?
I say it all the time, yo. I'll if you don't like it, it's easy to love. We're taught to.
It's easy to love,
you know,
right?
I can still hate your guts, but Jack, I love you as a bro.
But,
you know but to like you, I can love you all day, but I don't gotta like you.
No,
there's
right.
I mean,
there's this poet.
We do that with family. Like you love your family, and I'm talking about your blood family. You love your family, but
tell them how much
there's
I
always those few that had you like, you know what?
I love you, but I don't like you.
I'm cool. I'm cool on you. But go ahead. Go ahead, Jack. You were
no, there was this poet that said, love is I can't live without you. But love is I care about your well-being, but I want you to do that shit well away from me. And his name is Obi West, if you want to look him up. Hell of a poet. I laugh with my wife. Like, I laugh with no one else. This woman literally, like, I have to tell her to stop. I'll be like, yo, stop, because I'm dying here. I'll be on the floor, like, try to crawl away from her. I'll be like, I told you I can't breathe.
Wait, so it's funny you say that. You walked me into something that I didn't even tell you I wanted to talk about. So Rain and I were having a discussion about you know what? Let me use this as a perfect segue. You were talking about how you and Candy, how y'all laugh a lot, and you know, you just enjoy spending time with your wife. That's a blueprint I picked up from Stash and Reek. Just spending time together, even if it's doing nothing, just that quality time, right?
That's my homie, bro. That's my homie.
No, that's how you gotta look at it. Like that's my road dog. Like, if I'm West Side Gun, she Conway. If I'm RZA, like it's
I tell you.
You know what I mean? Like we hauling Nash, we EPMD, it's all that. Like you know what I mean?
Without the robbery.
Without the robbery. You know what I mean? Like we yakking and wacko. We pinky in the brain, like whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like, so
because that's who got your back when you go through it all, man.
Nobody is gonna have your back. Like this woman that you done raised and made and raised people with.
So it's funny y'all say that, right? Because as black men, we're taught so much to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
The woman who's the one can take that all away. She can make you so vulnerable.
Snatch it.
She can make you so giddy. Like, I've never seen Rob laugh the way I've seen him laugh with his wife. And it's hilarious to me because Rob already likes to laugh. But him and Rita, like Shizz, when your wife comes on camera, it's completely different. Like, and and I've known Shizz for almost all my life. But the point I was going to get at was, me and my wife, we spend time together, and she has me watching shows I would by no means watch if I was just dolo, right?
Right.
So
That's all of us. I guarantee.
1,000% agree.
So she
I
put me.
watched Lifetime, bro.
No, you're walking me right there. You're walking me right there. So
we all watch Lifetime, bro.
So she puts me onto this show called Married at First Sight, right?
Yeah.
You already know. So we be on there just laughing at niggas, like wondering why they can't get it right. So my wife says, you and Jack need to talk about this, but the reason that the husbands don't feel loved by the wives is because they don't bite their face. Context. Context. So Rain's way of showing affection to me randomly is biting my cheek until I laugh uncontrollably and start coughing. Which takes me back to your point about Candace making you laugh so much.
Bro, we got
you gotta run away, dog.
We got a page. Me and my wife have a couples page. It's on there, bro. I be like, and then my wife. The thing is, she's a frat boy. Like my wife.
So she petty like you.
From the hood. Yeah. That's she's like Spinelli. If Spinelli from Recess met
not Recess.
Met with Hillary Banks. Like if they had a baby or could make a person together, that would be my wife. She's like the tomboy, and she's also like the rich girly girl. Like my wife, like her house really looked like the Banks house, the house she grew up in, and her parents just went and bought a bigger one. Like I'm married up.
Right.
So why y'all here? I got questions now. Like, why?
Oh, because see, her daddy's still a nigga from Fayetteville, North Carolina, from the projects.
Say less.
I'm his son-in-law, but I still like, and he loves me. Like, give me his rib recipes and all that. But I'm paying this vigorous debt on this money that he borrowed for us to even start Proud Streams on. Like all the lights and everything paid for by dad. But he's still an old military man. So like I gotta work for my scratch.
I got you.
Right.
Yo, shout out to you, Miss Candy, too, because I peep some of y'all stuff on the socials and all that. Yeah, I love looking at what y'all do and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I always think it's dope when your partner is like, in essence, is your nigga. Like this right here, this is my nigga right here.
Yeah.
Game up. I'm sorry. I was out there shooting bow and arrows.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. That's the only thing. I can't get her into anything violent. She's a real like. Well, I'm gonna get her to shoot. But like I watch UFC, she turned away when they start bleeding and stuff. Because I used to fight.
Okay.
But everything else, comic books, sneakers.
She with it.
You know, this ain't just me. This ain't just me.
Right, exactly. And that's why I tell people all the time. You take a look and see. The thing is, her shoes are cheaper than mine.
Right.
So she can go ahead and cop any and everything. Wearing a size 10, yeah, I'm not getting no love. Like I'm resale market all day, but
man,
size 5.5, 6.
And Shizz, you can come back on one day so we can have that goddamn sneaker conversation.
Please.
Oh my God.
Please.
I am so sick. I deleted my sneakers app.
Yo, I don't even look at it no more. Yo,
I deleted it. I was done. I was disgusted. My what does?
I want to see the sneaker. Which one he's talking about?
No, he's talking about the ad. I peeped them in your IG joints.
Yeah.
I had what I had to go through to get these things, and then I'm like, these shits wasn't even supposed to be that popular. They wasn't supposed to like them.
Right.
Because I do my research before something that I like come out. I go to Jacques Slade. I go to Foreman Simpson. I go to Seth Fowler. I'll be really trying to find. I look at their heat checks. I'll be trying to find what's going to sit and what's going to sell, right? So I'm thinking, I really like these, and I love Jordan 5s. Still couldn't find them. Still had to pay. They only 200. I still had to pay 310. Like I am so disgusted with Nike sneakers, man. They piss me off. They like that app is disgusting. It's trifling,
hey, bro. Like you said, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. We're not even talking about that.
Because I got a list of grievances, so don't even.
Table that for a future episode. We could definitely.
That's fine.
You know what's crazy now? What like is like I find myself having to force myself more than she do. She go when it's time for her to go with her friends. She go.
Yo,
I have a hard time detaching.
Yo,
right, this is me stepping away.
Wait. Shizz,
Right.
Shizz.
Yo, this is me hanging out.
Shizz.
Right.
I was literally about to say the same thing. Like,
Yeah, Rain is going. Rain is going right now. She went to ladies' night.
like, no,
She's out of here.
No, Jack saw her walk away.
Leave.
Ain't even say bye. She was like deuces. Like,
But if my homies that are close to me call me, I'll be like, and don't let them hit me a week in advance. Cause I'll be like, yeah, I'm going. We out. And it get to the night before, I'll be like,
no,
bro,
I'm cool.
I don't even feel like going.
No.
And she'll be like, you don't never go out. And I'll be like,
No,
I just want to be home, man.
No, because now that we far removed from it, I can say it. Me and Stash used to have that issue when it was time to go to New York or it was time to go to Virginia, and the nigga would be like,
man.
"Yo, we got to John, we got to do. We just found out about it." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna be with Rain though. Like, what we talking about?" Like, it's one of those things where it's like, all right.
And what did Toby say?
Say again.
What did Toby say? Toby said, if I can't bring my wife and my babies, I'm leaving. Toby said, if I can't, and that's how I feel. I'm like, yo, if you feel some type of way because I got my wife around, then you're not the type of folks I need to be dealing with. First of all, that's my business partner on top of everything else.
Right. And it's just one of them things, like, you don't even realize you're doing it. You don't even realize that it's like, it's so gradual. Like Shizz said, evolution. Like, your behavior evolves as you reach these new plateaus in life. You know what I mean? Like marriage, fatherhood. You know what I mean? Like, these things change who you are. Like Stash, like, I know for a fact when you had Raya, who you were then. I mean, you were young, but you know what I mean? Like, certain things just gotta change your outlook and your priorities change. When that woman becomes the priority, that's almost like you've reached Super Saiyan level of manhood.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Where it's like, no, this is the priority now, and I will body anything that kind of comes in between what we've built in this household. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And that's your latent, that's your latent monkey shit too, right?
Yeah.
That's that de-evolved part of our brain.
Yeah.
Because we was talking about this privately, but I think it's all these men on here. We can talk about this. I was having a conversation with my sons because they're both still virgins. And they were talking to me, and I said, there's certain things I just can't, you just won't understand about the way you look at your woman. Because, they Zoomers, so they sensitive guys, right? It's like, oh, my girl can do this, and I don't have a problem with my girl doing that. And I'm like, yeah. Wait until the woman you love give you the pepper grinder.
I forgot you said that to me.
You know what I mean? Wait until she pull this move. Like, And then afterwards you laying in bed like I kill any man who ever looks at her. Yo, like.
Hold on. I just called what you said, the pepper grinder.
Yeah. Yes.
Good job, Loudmouth.
The pepper grinder, Shizz.
The pepper
like.
Oh.
No.
What you talking about? Asking me? Well, you gotta ask me. Ask yourself.
You know, and when you and when and when she,
I'm gonna mute my mic now.
Go ahead.
You tell me.
Y'all stupid.
I done started something. I think we might have lost Shizz for the night.
I'm just saying.
Oh no, we good. We just over here talking shit. You know how niggas do.
Yeah, I know.
I'm about to go get some more practice in.
Oh, okay.
So
I knew she was gonna say that.
Hawkeye.
I got a Hawkeye for your ass already. Anyway.
She said you better go pepper grind it yourself, little nigga.
What's this?
No, but no, I think that's the biggest thing, like to just understand who you used to be, that savage you used to be. Like, you ever think about who you were before this woman domesticated you?
Yeah.
Like how you lived. Like, I think if you ever had your own place and you had that couch, like anybody had that couch, I had that couch, bro. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, that couch. All the homies that slept on. You know what I mean? It's been through several of your apartments.
Yeah.
Like when I pulled it out of storage, because when we met, I was at my mom's house. That's another thing. My wife makes more. Has traditionally made more than me in our relationship, and has never made me feel.
No, same.
I ain't think twice about it. I said, "That's more money for us."
So, and it's never made me feel any type of way. I'm still the man in our relationship. You know what I mean? And I still feel like there's still things that I structure on a daily basis and that I go through and that I see that she don't, and vice versa when it comes to the mom and the wife thing.
But again, it's that evolution of life too, though.
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that balance.
It's not the 50s no more to where like
Exactly.
women are making moves.
Yeah.
They're making power moves, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And so
Woo.
one of my and this is just full disclosure.
Had to get the
I feel like we've all kind of been in that role. Like Stash, I know me and Stash live together. Like I know how that played, and that I'll let him speak there if he chooses to. But it was a hang up for me when I first met my wife. Not when I first met her, but when we started getting serious and we knew that marriage was kind of like on the table. It was a hang up for me because I was stuck in traditional thinking. Air quote traditional thinking.
I'm still struggling with it, Rick.
Me too. It doesn't change. You just got to keep adjusting your mindset. But yeah, it was like, I don't want you to look at me less of because you making more, or with me having a disability, like that was a hang up for me. And this is just me being candid with y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that was a real conversation, and she had to keep telling me, like, yo, it's cool.
Like you thinking about it more than I am.
Yeah, like it ain't. Jack, you said this to me on one of the episodes we didn't put out, but you said it to me on camera. Like, you don't think about my disability when. Yeah,
But you know what's crazy is I said the same thing. Like
I
don't even
think about it.
Like that's not even. I can't even say it's an afterthought. It's not a thought at all.
Yeah,
and it's bad. And I get to a point where I be like, well, why? Oh shit! Because I don't think about it so much.
Yeah,
and it was just, that's my man. He got cerebral palsy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
hold that thought.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? We all got stuff going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm crazy as hell. but people still mess with me for whatever reason. So it's like, and we all have our own things. Some are visible and some aren't. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of, okay, I'm not going to harp on this. And again, like I tell Ree all the time, he posts his videos and everything and him working out. So it's like, and I remember I told him, I said, so I have no excuse not to be in there getting busy. I have no.
He got me down 10, 15 pounds.
Oh, man, congratulations.
I'm like, God damn.
It's different, but I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? If this man can get up and grind every day and do what he do with the pain, physical pain that he struggle with and all that, you know what I'm saying? What's my excuse?
What's my excuse?
So the reason I bring that up is because, like, your wife can teach you how to look past your shortcomings. And I want to transition into a different conversation, but this will walk me right through it. My wife helped me to see past my flaws and or my perceived flaws, right? And it wasn't until I met her that I was able to start talking about it in music. And that was the transition I wanted to make, because aside from being black men, aside from being husbands, Jack, you alluded to it, we all share a love for hip hop that brought us together in one way, shape, or form. Shizz, your first concert was with me and my pop.
Yeah, man. I tell people all the time.
You know what I mean? Like, me and Rob are brothers, but our bond is formed in music. Like, that's my brother, and I die for my brother. But a lot of our time spent together is in the studio. It's on the road. It's on the stage. Like,
right. Me and Drake as well.
Yeah.
Me and Drake as well. That is, or even more than my brother.
Hold that thought, because this is where I kind of wanted to segue Rob in, because Rob loves his wife. And it was hard for him to start talking about his wife in music. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit, and then you could just transition into music in general?
I mean, go ahead. I'm listening. Yeah, I'm enjoying this right here.
So at the time that me and Rob and Rome and now Jimmy, at the time that we were really going hard, Jack, you and Poppy were with us. Making chick records.
The Universal deal.
Yeah. That was the hardest thing in the world for us to do, was to make records for women. I won't say for women. I don't want to get canceled, because you get canceled for that now. Records for women. And it was hard for both of us. When Rob was able to start internalizing and being inspired by his marriage, it's like, dude, you got a great relationship. You can speak on that. You know what I mean? Like, how do you think that your relationship helped your artistry, not just in terms of making ladies records?
Because it was more like a block that I had, as far as, you know what I mean? Because I thought, me, when I write, I'm a realist. So everything I write about, even if it's me just barring out, it's always truth in it. So me fabricating, like, I'm not out here in the club popping bottles. So it's hard for me, even though you got imagination, like, I could do it, but it was like, it's just not authentic to me to do it that way if I'm not really experiencing it. You know what I'm saying? So everything I write about is life's experience. So she would tell, like, when you told me, like, man, just, like, you write about your wife, whatever. So I looked at it like, all right, how can I do this? How can I do this? But I don't want to be too going in like I'm talking from a married point of view. You know what I'm saying? I still want to make it look like I'm talking from a player point of view, but not being a player, but being like a one guy type of dude.
A one woman type of guy.
Female.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it was more like, you know what? I grew up off of L. You know what I'm saying? And that's how L worked. Like, if you look, you never knew about L's wife until she came out and they started talking about her experience in cancer and all that. That's when we really started seeing her. And that was just a few years ago. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? He kept her. Nobody knew. Nobody seen it. and that's how he stayed out the shallows as far as his bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I looked at it. But once you told me that idea, and then my wife was like, look, go ahead. Like, I know, you know what I'm saying? You're not out here doing that or whatever. What? Oh, bet. Freak show. She got yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was more like it was weightlifting. To know that she know if I make these type of songs, she's know I'm not out here actually doing that. It's just, you know what I'm saying? But once again, if you look at my track record of music, I don't have them many songs of me talking about females.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's just not how I write. So if $1 million check was presented in front of me, I'd probably make the worst female song you ever heard. You know what I'm saying? Like, because me, I'm not looking at it like writing as she a hoe, she a thought. I'm looking at it like I'm saying, like, my shorty, my babe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm coming at it from like that. So niggas know, like, yeah, he's kind of an older type cat. You can tell, you know what I'm saying?
More mature. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's how I always was. Like, even when just coming up freestyling, it was hard for me to be really cursing in raps. You know what I'm saying? Like, even to this day, sometimes I be wanting to say the most vulgar shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I know, like,
it ain't on brand. Yeah.
Yeah, in the back of my mind, that's not me. I'm not setting an example. Like, I'm always like, damn, what if my grandma hear this shit?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, so it's funny you say that, because I was telling Jack, one of the joints we did together, we never put it out. I went back and listened to it. It was me, you, and I forget who. It wasn't wrong with Jimmy. It was somebody else. But anyway, might have been Phoenix. I don't know. Might have been Phoenix. But anyway, the verse I wrote, I was kind of experimenting, and it was a little bit more vulgar than what I usually put out.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like, I would never okay that record being out, because as the verse is dope, but it don't sound good coming from me, because that's not who I am. So I understand. Yeah. I understand what Rob is saying, because, like, if it's not authentic to you, if you don't have a connection to it, you can't expect the audience to.
Right. I couldn't do it at all. None of it until I had my first nervous breakdown.
Okay.
Until Jack Swift was really born.
Yeah.
Because all through that Cage thing, it was just my anger. Because I was an angry cat. Like,
yeah.
It was violence, it was anger, it was
it's just dark.
It was just dark, right? And what's funny is that with Candy being in my life after music,
she probably don't even understand who you were before.
No, she does. I think she does better.
Really?
When she listens to the old tracks, and when she listens, because I have a clearer mind now to talk about it. I can really, because you got to understand, like, let's just talk about PhD, because that was the first and only real cohesive project that I put out by myself, because normally it was with everybody. I was a group guy, you know what I mean? But with PhD, that was all really going through a lot of crazy mental situations. I mean, if you think about it, I fashioned myself on the Joker. You know what I mean? I was going through my first divorce. I lost everything I worked for up to that point, and I'm battling back. And so all I can do is sort of create this persona that is one, that embraced all of the bad, that embraced all of the crazy. And as I was transitioning out of that part of my life, that stage of my life, I meet Candace, and she hips me to this, and because Proud Strangeland was only supposed to be my merch line for when I did shows. My wife, going to school for fashion design, was like, well, baby, some of this stuff, like, I don't really, she was like, you love streetwear. She's like, I don't really understand streetwear. I come from a fine art, fine fashion, sort of couture training and background. She was like, but, right, that's the Hillary Banks side. She was like, but, she was like, with this artwork that you've been creating for this stuff, she was like, you know, and this collage art thing that you like to do on the phone, I never thought of myself as no visual artist because I couldn't draw.
Yeah.
But when I started doing graphic design, I didn't even know that's what I was teaching myself to do. I was just creating like little sayings and pictures on t-shirts.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, and my wife was the person who was like, no, you have something here. Now, when creating it into a company, I had to kind of pull her kicking and screaming because she's like being an entrepreneur, stepping out on faith wasn't really her thing. Working, getting that regular check was. And so that's where we sort of met in the middle. But I didn't think I could even throw anything on my shoulders. You know, my artwork with whatever little rinky-dink crap I was doing, and was my wife that was like, no, this is good. You can do this. And I've never had anybody support me like that.
Yeah.
Except for like y'all.
All right, so hold that thought because now I want to bring Shizz in. Because Jack, you inadvertently walked me into a mental health discussion. Shizz,
Well, you know, I got a lot of that too.
So,
but I would, Shizz.
Shizz, you don't rap. The three of us rap. So a lot of how we deal with mental health is through music and art. And I'll touch on my mental health and how music has kind of helped me. Now, you and I have discussed mental health a little bit. Does your love of music help with your mental health at all? Do you think that it does? It does in one way or another?
I think so.
Yeah, because like you being such an avid fan of music, I felt like this conversation was still apropos to you. So now I'm just going to give you the floor, you know, just to elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, does music help my mental health? I would say yes. And I would say yes because I always say it's never fun to get lost, but it's always fun to get lost with someone.
Yeah.
And it's always cool hearing something because for whatever reason in our little boxes, right, we always think we're the only ones going through what we're going through. And it's so far from the truth. And to hear somebody else to kind of speak about it, or to hear somebody else on wax or on record or whatever talk about it and say, yo, subliminally, yo, this is what helped me kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay. And unfortunately, I'm not a big person on following like celebrities and artists and all that stuff. I can care less about them.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes if enough people are saying it, it must be some kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's worth the try.
Yeah.
So I remember I had to be told to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? I had to be told. Like my first line at the time was like, because we were sitting there having a conversation about it, and he was like, yo, go talk to somebody. And sometimes that's as simple as it is. Like, yo, go talk to somebody. And sometimes you would be surprised at because you can talk to your spouse, to your wife and all that. And sometimes it's a little difficult because they don't know everything or the context of what it is that you're going through. But talking to a professional, as far as the military side of it goes, talking to a military trained professional therapist that already kind of understands and knows all the little ins and outs of it, that's what makes it easier. But definitely music, definitely, because and sometimes too, you can have a tough day at the office or whatever the case may be, and put your, like me, I'm a repeat listener. I can listen
me too.
Like hours on end, like real talk. So sometimes I can just get in the car and just put that track on or whatever, and
and just
Yo,
let it
that
run.
make me forget about everything that, you know what I'm saying? That, and
I'm
put
the
you
same
in
way,
a
Shizz.
different mindset.
Because
I'm glad
music
you-
comes from how people feel, and there's all type of
Mhm.
music out there on all type of feelings. You got
Right.
angry music, you got soothing music, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? All
Mhm.
type. That's where the damn rock and roll and heavy metal come from. If you really study the lyrics, these motherfuckers be talking some shit.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's all types. Like whatever gets you through, that's what they make it for.
Right.
There's music out here for people that do drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Stash. So for
Yes,
those
sir.
who don't know your story, you were diagnosed with what?
I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is cancer to the neck. You know what I mean? To the neck. So that's where me falling in love. Well, already been in love with music from a little kid, but me actually like beginning to write and format is after I caught that sickness, because I was with a trach in my neck. You know what I'm saying? So all I could do was write. Couldn't talk for months, you know what I'm saying? For months, a whole year. So that's how me and music really became like one, you know what I'm saying? Just me, just like Jack said, a lot of my stuff come from pain, what I went through. You know what I'm saying? That's my poetry. That's my diary. You know what I'm saying? There's certain songs I record that I won't put out. It was just for me to get it off my chest and get it out my system.
Right.
You know
I got a few Jones like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And,
that helped right there.
And you had a record where you kind of talk about it, Ready to Live, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a whole story.
That's on DSPs. For anybody that might.
I remember Ready to Live.
Yeah, that's on all streaming platforms. And
I have a playlist.
Right.
On my Apple Music called Fight Music. When I'm and it don't mean fight, it means fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's all types of stuff. It's like Ready to Live is on there.
That's what's up.
Drake got a joint on his Hugh Laurie album called Heroes for Sale.
Okay.
That's on there. And it's like music like that. Like music, it is those specific songs that get that good cry about you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. When you need to get that joint about you, so you go in wherever you need to go in, get away from everybody, and you let it out, and you listen to the music you listen to, and it's not sad music, it's uplifting music. Right. You know what I mean? It's my Rocky soundtrack. You know what I mean? And
it's the story of triumph. You know.
Right. And I appreciate those kind of records. You know, that's if there's nothing else that made me want to be the type of artist I was, it was Eminem. And the thing that everybody misunderstands about him is they think it's all drugs and dissing your mom and saying you're gonna kill your baby mom, and they don't know what caught Eminem fans was those uplifting songs.
Yeah, the mental health.
Yeah, M was venting. He was.
Yeah, when M was venting. Yeah, exactly. He was going through some stuff, and it was revolutionary. I mean, because I have a very bad relationship with my mother. Me and my mom don't talk. My mom is toxic to my life. You know what I mean? Mm. And it took me years. I felt that way forever. But it took me years to say, you know what, Mom? I got to love you from a distance.
Yeah.
I can't keep letting you break my heart no more. I can't keep letting you, and damn sure can't keep letting you run roughshod in front of these kids and in front of these boys that I'm trying to make into men. That's the reason why I had to go outside and find my manhood in the streets. That's why I was so angry, because you couldn't allow me to grow up into a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always say there's two halves to my life. There's three. There's the cage part that was the beginning. there was the Jack Swift part that is encompassing now, but now Jack Swift is he's only a character that I put on to step in front of the camera. You know what I mean? He's not my savior no more. Jack Swift was was the way I dealt with all because what I found out was the street nigga couldn't deal with the mental shit.
Yes. Yeah.
I needed somebody of a higher elevated mind, somebody that wasn't going to react violently all the time. Because that's Cage, and it got so much so to the point where I even worked that into my music. Because when I became Jack Swift, I kept Cage as like my Reggie Noble, like my Cassidy the Hustler, as opposed to Cassidy the Problem. You know what I mean? And I got songs like that. I got Jack Swift versus Cage. I got, and I make those distinctions because now both of those people have sort of coalesced into a stronger man, father, brother, friend, husband that I am today. But mental health was a big part of that. Like I talk about it, like y'all know my thing was I'm the Joker, Arkham Asylum. I've been to the Friends Hospital 16 times to the point where they know my name. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of a part of my thing. That was what I was dealing with. Being bipolar and then growing up in a black household where that's white people problems.
Yeah, none of that is understood.
My grandmother was schizophrenic. Everybody was just like, oh, she just, she crazy like a fox. Ain't none of that shit real, And so for me, not being able to control my emotions, because that's what bipolar disorder does. I was soft. I was sensitive. You angry, then you crying all the time. What's wrong with you? Not realizing that there's something really wrong with me. I have a chemical imbalance that I have a hard time controlling the cycles of my emotions. Today, I can say I'm free and clear. I only go to therapy. I don't take no medicine. I regulated myself well.
Yeah, I mean, do what you gotta do.
Yeah. But all that other medicine, that man-made stuff.
Yeah.
Not to say that if you are going through something and you think you take your medicine, this is I took medicine when I felt as though I needed to, but to create and do everything that I needed to do, I can't be on the medicine. So I meditate, I pray, I see my therapist on a regular basis, and I'm real about my feelings. When somebody hurt them, no, I don't want to break your face. I'm gonna tell you, you hurt my feelings. I don't want to fight you, all of that, because all of the stuff I learned in the streets ain't gonna help me do what I need to do today. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not what I need to do in here for these people that I created and this woman that I decided to say I was going to be responsible for.
That's right.
And see, the reason I wanted to have this discussion with y'all, and I haven't even touched on my struggle with mental health. There's so many layers to it. There's so many different. You got 4 different perspectives on what mental health is. You know what I mean?
What it looks like.
Yeah, right. Like Shizz, you were in the military. Jack, you're diagnosed, bipolar. Stash. People might not think that being a cancer survivor comes with mental health issues.
No, it comes with issues. Hell yeah.
Like, that's trauma. That's trauma that you gotta deal with.
Think about it, and I wanted to, and Rhea, I'm gonna throw it back to you, but I just wanted to make sure I clap my hand to Big Bro because
man.
Think about it, right? Not only to get diagnosed, right, but to get diagnosed with something that affects your love. You know what I'm saying? It'd be one thing. It was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a track star, so me getting my legs broken, really, yeah, I don't want my legs broken, but it ain't affecting what I love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For me being a lyricist, my main source of basically
my voice.
Kind of like it's my voice, and I can no longer use my voice for what I needed for what my passion is for. So to be able to stay mentally strong and keep moving, and like one day, because you don't know if your shit is gonna come back or not. You really don't.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, you know what? It's coming back, and when it come back, I'm gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? Big up to you for even keeping that mental head strength to being able to come back from all of that, yo. Because most people we tapped out.
Yeah.
Yo, go ahead, Stash. Go ahead. You got it.
That's what's up. Go ahead, bro. I was just telling him appreciate it.
So before I go into my story, just hearing everybody's perspective on this reminds me of what Jack's grandfather told him about his relationship with the great Muhammad Ali. Champions hang with champions. So I couldn't have had this conversation with three better people. Kudos to all y'all for everything that you've endured, still being here, still being family men, and we all in this together. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't got to be the last.
You know, bro.
This ain't got to be the last session, but this is definitely be the most profound one. But as for me, my struggle with mental health is a little different, because a lot of mine stems from repressed emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Jack said it. Shizz, you double down. Like, with my CP, y'all don't see that first, but it's what I see. It's it's internal. Like, it was hard for me to be a rapper at first until Stash kept telling me, like, no, you got it. Of course, I was always writing shit. You know, I was writing back in Benedict and Dougherty and all that, but I wasn't really taking it seriously. It was just like something that I kind of did. But Stash ended up telling me, like, yo, you got a story. Expressing that story in music is how I dealt with mental health. Like,
and the world loves a story. Right.
And that's all. And for the MCs that are on this platform right now, that's what we are. That's what we are. We storytellers. We just tell you our story and our perspective.
Exactly.
But yeah, I used to repress all my emotions. I used to act like wasn't nothing wrong. And air quote, nothing is wrong. But because my parents and my grandmother always instilled in me, you're no different than anybody else, which is a great thing to hear. It's a great thing to hear, but internally, you know different. So for the longest time, I was just repressing how I really felt about my situation. Music gave me an outlet to essentially talk to myself. If I decide to share that with the world, then so be it. But like Stash said, like, you got records that'll never see the light of day because it's just a diary. It's a journal. If I don't get these thoughts out, somebody might get hurt. Somebody might.
Wait. Can I say something too? As a fan? Okay.
No,
as a fan,
go ahead, get it up.
As a fan of your music, so from where we met in school, bro, and you just being a fucking monster, just like it used to be. Just I am the best. That's my story. I'm really good at this rapping thing.
Yeah.
To see you progress from that to talking about your mental health, your physical health, your family, fatherhood, the insecurities around being a father and a husband, like the White Rose Project was eye-opening because it was a lot of things where I said, damn, I didn't know he felt that way. You you know, damn, I should have checked on my bro more. You know what I mean? I should have asked him instead of, because part of it is fear, right? You know what I mean? Part of not talking to you about it is, well, I don't want to make you. I don't want to make you feel like you're not.
Am I overstepping kind of thing?
Yeah. And I don't want to make my brother feel like he's not. That I don't think he's not like everybody else. Because why isn't he?
No, but you know what's crazy? And Stash can tell you this because we've had these conversations. If you ask me, I'm not going to tell you. You're not going to get the answer from me verbatim if we just talking.
Mm-hmm.
The album is just me letting you read my diary. You would have got that from me if you asked me.
Right.
Stash will tell you. It's been plenty of times we've been on stage rocking. I'm talking about rocking.
Right.
Get on stage and be sore as a
Mm-hmm.
You be like, you all right? Nah, nigga, I'm tore up. I've been tore up since we got here. Why you ain't say nothing? Because we got a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, Shizz, you know, there's been times we've been recording the Beat Connection. You good? Yeah, I'm good. After we record, how you really feel? Nigga, I'm out.
Show must go on.
You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those. But that's what I'm talking about with the mental health and repression. Repression of emotion is a mental health issue because you don't know any better. It's not, and it's not even that you ain't got nobody to talk to. I could talk to any one of y'all. But you also don't want to be an air quote burden on anybody. So you keep it to yourself until you can get it out. Thank God Rob found music and then taught it to me. You know what I mean? I'll always say it that way because without my brother, I don't have music. I would have loved music as a fan, but expressing myself through music, I don't have that without Stash. Like, that's a fact. That's why, like, and he'll tell you, the White Rose Project was finished without his input for the most part. And I still put him as executive producer because without him, I don't even do that.
You don't do it, right.
So, God forbid something ever happened to me, Rob Stashes and Corey are the executive producers of that project. If any royalties, make sure they get their royalties if something happened to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's my way of saying thank you to him for looking out for her. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where if I never make another album again, at least I got it all out. At least I got it all out. Right. And it helped. So now when I have these moments of like feeling less than, I can throw that project on and be like, you know what, you already said that. Like, you know how to get through this now. You know what I mean? And like Jack said, and like Shizz said, therapy is important. If you feel like you got to go to therapy, you ain't got nobody to talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Like we all talk to our wives, but sometimes you need a more neutral perspective. I'm a big proponent for therapy, man. Like, you know,
talk.
Get it out. When me and Jack first started talking about doing this show, it was like, yo, let's treat it like a therapy session. Wherever the conversation goes, let it get there. I know we've been on here for a minute, so I ain't gonna hold up no more of you brothers' time.
Yeah, man.
We've been on here.
Damn.
No, listen. I gotta put this kid to bed.
We was rapping.
Stash probably thought he was gonna be on here for a half hour. He been on here for a half now. My bad.
Shizz was only supposed to be on here for 40 minutes.
No, we got like 6 episodes.
The memo said 10 minutes.
No, we got.
I looked at my watch. It was 8:16. I was like, but we was in good conversation.
No, we was rocking.
Right. We was rocking
that long. So
no,
I was like,
and I feel like
y'all and forever. So
brothers.
Look, I don't even do live and Zoom and all that. I'm gonna download the app. I'm on it.
Right. Yo, this. Give yourselves a round of applause, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, this was amazing, bro.
My wife pulled me outside, right? And she said, I love what y'all are doing. She said, I'm going to listen to this when y'all put it out because what happens is Hollywood gives the world this like false sense of, you know what I'm saying, the world is so peachy clean and all of this, or, you know what I'm saying, well, you got money, so you can just take care of it. But like the perspective of 4 brothers just on some regular stuff. You know what I'm saying? No, not being sponsored, not being forced. This is all honest thoughts and all of that. So she was like, yo, I hope y'all keep doing this. So no, thank you, brothers, for inviting me on.
This is amazing, man. I'm so happy, bro. And Rob, man,
we'll try to keep the next episode to the 40-minute promise.
Tap in, man.
Right.
We gotta tap in. Just beyond this, we gotta stay.
Yeah, we gotta talk, man.
I'll shoot both of y'all each other's. I'll shoot both of y'all each other's numbers when we get off here.
Yeah, man. All right, I love you, brothers, man.
I love y'all, man. I love y'all, man. Good
love you too, bro.
Brothers, man.
You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send everybody's number.